Good morning, students. Today we will continue with Chapter 7 Energy Flow in an Ecosystem. Already we have completed food chain and food web in part 1, and now we will study about the energy pyramid and the biogeochemical cycle as part 2. Let us start with trophic level. Each level in the food chain is called a trophic level. A trophic level is a step at which the organism obtains its food in the chain. Students, when you observe the figure of trophic level, you can see that all the producers in the ecosystem, they form the producers, whereas herbivorous, they come under the first trophic level, carnivorous comes under second trophic level, and omnivorous comes under third trophic level. Now let us study about the energy pyramid. Charles Elton, a British scientist, first proposed the concept of ecological pyramid in the year 1927. Hence, this pyramid is also called as Eltonian pyramid. Now, an energy pyramid is a model that shows the flow of energy from one trophic level to next in an ecosystem. The amount of matter and energy gradually decreases from producers to top consumers. Also, when the energy transfer takes place from one trophic level to next, there is always some amount of energy lost as heat at each step. Students, when you observe the figure given of pyramid of energy in an aquatic ecosystem, you will see that phytoplanktons are at the base, that is, they are the producers with 10,000 kilocalories of energy, zooplanktons with 1000 kilocalories of energies, fishes with 100 kilocalories of energies, and finally the top consumers, humans, with 10 kilocalories of energy. So when you notice that only 10% of energy is being transferred from one trophic level to the next trophic level. Now students, let us try to understand how does the energy transfers takes place in case of aquatic ecosystem. When you observe the figure of aquatic ecosystem, you will see that here phytoplanktons are the producers. Example are green algae and single-celled plants. They are the autotrophs. Since they float on surface of oceans, they can prepare their own food material with the help of sunlight. Suppose these phytoplanktons absorb about 10,000 kilocalories of energies from sunlight, out of which they utilize some part for their life processes like respiration, growth, development, etc. And some part of energy is lost as heat in the surrounding. Now, when the zooplanktons, for example, we can say jellyfishes, shrimp, krill, etc., they come under the category of zooplanktons. Zooplanktons are heterotrophs, and when they feed on phytoplanktons, they get only about 1000 kilocalories of energy, out of which they use some part of energy for their life processes and rest is lost as heat. Now, when the fishes which feed on these zooplanktons, they get only about 100 kilocalories of energy. And when the human beings are the top consumers, when they feed on the fishes, they get only about 10 kilocalories of energy from the fishes. That means only 10% of energy is transferred from one trophic level to the next. And finally, children, what happens after the death of consumers? Where does the energy goes? Yes, after the death of top consumers, their energy becomes available to the decomposers. These decomposers, they convert complex materials into simple compounds so that it can be easily used up by the plants, and once again the cycle continues. These decomposers also dissipate some amount of energy in the form of heat. However, children, no part of energy ever returns back to the sun. Hence, in an ecosystem, the transfer of energy is always referred as one-way transport, or also we can say as unidirectional. Now, our next subtopic is biogeochemical cycle. In the word biogeochemical cycle, the word bio refers to all the biotic components of the earth, whereas geo refers to the all the abiotic components like land, soil, water, air. And the word chemical refers to all the chemical reactions taking place on the earth. Hence, in simple words, we can say as it is the movement of chemical substances due to the interactions of biotic and abiotic components of the earth. And it can be defined as the cyclic flow of nutrients within an ecosystem is called as biogeochemical cycle. The biogeochemical cycle provides different types of nutrients to all the living organisms for their growth and development. Not only this, nutrients that are necessary for the growth of organisms are continuously transferred from abiotic to biotic component and biotic to abiotic components within an ecosystem. Students, when you observe the figure of biogeochemical cycle, you will see that there is a cyclic flow between hydrosphere to atmosphere and atmosphere to lithosphere, which forms totally our biosphere. Now our next subtopic is types of biogeochemical cycle. There are two types of biogeochemical cycle, namely gaseous cycle and sedimentary cycle. In gaseous cycle, there is an accumulation of main abiotic gaseous nutrients on the Earth's atmosphere, and it involves nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, etc. Whereas in sedimentary cycle, there is an accumulation of main abiotic nutrients in soil, sediments and sedimentary rock of the earth, and it includes soil components like iron, calcium, phosphorus, etc. Not only this, gaseous cycle is speedier cycle than sedimentation cycle.